So the first part of the journey begins. I'm on the ferry from Harwich to the Hook of Holland. Jazzi Kasi is strapped downstairs, all safe and sound. I'll be spending the night in Rotterdam, and then after that, plan is ride through Germany, one night in Germany. Haven't quite decided where yet, but I'll just book when I'm had enough riding for the day. Then through Austria, heading for Croatia. I think my plan is spend a week in Croatia, just regroup, and then ride on Bosnia. And then everything seems to be pointing on YouTube that it's really good to visit Albania and stay in Albania for a bit. So I think that's probably the next part of the plan. Get a bit of time in Albania. I'm looking for a month probably. I just want to regroup. I've left everything behind. No longer have a girlfriend. No longer have a business. So yeah, hopefully our business sells. But I've got enough money to travel. So the unconventional retirement is all about the idea that you don't need, I don't know, 1 million, 5 million. Everyone seems to like have these crazy targets for how much they need to retire. So at the moment I put about $7,000 into my Revolut account, and that's going to be the start point. It'll pay for the first places that I stay. I'm seeing places on Airbnb in Albania for $200 a month, so I can do that. I can live for $1,000. So yeah, I've got a plan, which is a rough plan, but a plan of just traveling and seeing and taking some time. I haven't stopped since I was 19 and a half, and before that I worked in my parents' business, so now's the time. I've been in the music business, had an incredible time doing that, had a recording studio called Timpanelli Studios. I traveled to Antigua, got onto yachts, traveled from Antigua to the UK, and then another time I traveled from the UK to Malaysia and spent a good year and a half sailing in Malaysia. I came back, became a caterer, created my own companies. I was never as successful as some people, but always managed to pay the bills, did some incredible stuff. Barbecue for a prince, barbecue 100 feet in the sky. And now it's time for another change, for travel, from YouTube. And also I've written a couple of children's books, picture books, with Sarah doing the illustration, and next year we have 2 children's picture books coming out. So I guess it's not a complete retirement, but it's certainly a retirement from catering. So that's it, first post. Thank you for watching. was gonna have a petrol station, I think this would be the petrol station I would have. What a view! Unbelievable. What a ride. Croatia is just full of wonders. Riding through the hills and then come down this valley is just completely full of orange trees. The whole valley is just orange trees. It's incredible. Amazing. I just came over the brow of the hill from that incredible valley, and then this. Wow. Amazing irrigation. What a valley. So, the first part of the journey had to be ride hard and fast across Europe. Northern Europe, I should say. 1,700 kilometers. Yesterday I woke up 3 degrees and ice and a ride through the German Alps, which I didn't realize I really had a bucket list, but I guess if I had a bucket list, it would be riding across the Alps. I feel kind of sad that in 5 days, this is my 5th day, that I've gone across the whole of Northern Europe. But this is about the unconventional retirement. It's about traveling and living for not the same money that I lived in the UK. And Northern Europe's expensive. Germany is a beautiful country, but the prices are equivalent to the UK. And with my relaxed budget, I don't have the money for that. So here I am sitting in Croatia, 8:30 in the morning, give or take. It's November. I can sit with my t-shirt on. The Mediterranean Sea, I believe, is just quietly lapping away behind me, and it's beautiful. I'm in a small seaside port. I'm not going to butcher its name. I'm doing a thing called finding penguins. So if you find me on that, Retiree Pete, then you can see a bit more of where I am and what my journey is. But today is going to be a day of relaxing. I have ridden non-stop for 4 days, covered 1,700 kilometers, and it's been amazing. The bike that I bought was definitely the right decision, a Vogue DS 900X, which just powered the motorway miles and was quite beautiful to ride. And considering that 6 months ago, my plan was get a 125, learn to ride a bike, and then take my test on a 650 motorbike. So this is kind of since I was a child, the 4th motorbike I've ridden. So it was a big decision to go for a bike the size of a 900, but it was the right decision. She's comfortable, she's safe, she has the power. She went through the Alps without a thought, which was beautiful and reassuring. So now today is the relaxed day, the planning day. I need to look towards Bosnia, Albania. These are the places where you can live far cheaper and have a great standard of living. You know, that's what it's about. I needed to change my life. I gave up my businesses and started this journey. And this journey is about discovering places that I've never seen before, having experience that obviously I've never experienced before, and hopefully meeting people along the way. There haven't been many bikes on the road so far, but maybe that's because I've been doing main motorway riding. So I'm hoping to find a few more travelers along the way. But this is just a quick update from Croatia, just because it's beautiful here, and yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. I should have brought the bike down. I am getting too old for stairs this steep. So the unconventional retirement was always going to be not a one-stop finish done. I have a company back in the UK, so we had a client who postponed. So today is the first break in my trip. The aim was to ride fast across Northern Europe and get down to Croatia. But I made it down to Dubrovnik. The flights back to the UK are much cheaper here than from Zagreb. So that was, and also it brings me closer to the countries that I plan to stay for longer than just 2 nights or a night, which is what I've been doing so far. So I fly back to the UK for a week. It's November, so the weather's probably going to be like this, but a bit worse and a bit colder. So maybe with this front coming in, it's quite a good time to say goodbye to Croatia. When I come back, I will be riding further down the Adriatic coast and potentially stopping, I'm not sure yet, Bosnia, and stay there. I think Bosnia or Herzegovina and Bosnia, and stay there for a week. So, and just regroup and plan for the rest of the journey. But for this point, it's goodbye to Croatia, and thank you for the most incredible ride down the coast. If you've got a motorbike and you want your mind blown, then it's a hell of a ride. Storm coming in, meant to be pretty bad for the next couple of days. So maybe not the worst time to fly back to the UK. Hopefully I'll stay dry today.
Close your eyes, let the colors bloom. A spark of light in the quiet room. Whispers rising from the hidden stream. What will you find when you dare to dream? What will you find when you dare to dream? Paint the sky with your wildest thought. Feel the world bend where it's not. Stretch the edges, let them go. The masterpiece is in your soul.
I was gonna have a petrol station. I think this would be the petrol station I would have. What a view! Unbelievable.
Shadows move where the ideas play. A fleeting glance, but they never stay. Catch one now.
Incredible. What a ride.
The stars are laughing, they feel the same. The brush is waiting, don't hesitate.